Okay, do you want to say a few words before we begin, or?
Yes, thank you to... It's nice to see you all here. Sit. Do you see me behind the back? Or maybe I have to move like that sometimes. I talk for the left and I talk for the right. And I talk for the left. No, but it's wonderful to see you inside in the middle of the image. You are inside the image. It's, how do you feel there? It's okay? Yeah? Okay, nice. So,
well, I'd like to thank Fabrice again for joining us, and I think it's a great opportunity we have tonight to be joined by him to talk about the final works of Godard. And I was just chatting with one of the organizers, Mimi, the other night, and we were saying, actually, we all owe Fabrice a debt of gratitude, because I think without Fabrice, we probably would not have the last few films of Jean-Luc Godard. So he played a very instrumental role in making them. So let's thank Fabrice again, and I guess we can get started. Or...
Thank you. Now, an applause to Jean-Luc, I would say, maybe more for me.
I thought maybe we can begin by just saying a little bit about the intimacy of the setting tonight, because I think you mentioned before that for the image book, Godard actually wanted not to show it in cinemas, but in a kind of smaller setting, and that it was important for him to get away from the industry in terms of like telling stories and making films. And maybe we can begin with that before we talk about how you met Jean-Luc.
Yes, but I met Jean-Luc in the same way of this last film, in this kind of intimity. But cinema, I don't know, it's the same point of view that I have also with cinema. Cinema, it's mainly in techniques. You have a camera on your shoulder, like there is a photo there from Raoul Coutard where you see the cinematographer holding a camera. You have a camera like that, and inside the camera, even if it's a digital camera, it's the same thing. Inside, you have the lens, and then inside you have the capture or the print, the film print. It's a small thing like that. The image is small. So you are in an intimacy with the camera and with the small thing. And then you work on your edit table in a room, in an edit room. It's a room, it's like a bedroom, but it's just an edit room. You are inside your things, and you edit your thinking, and then you send the film to a screener or to a projector, and then with the light it becomes big. But to create something, it's in the intimity, and cinema is something, because if you are making painting, you paint maybe big, but cinema is like writing a little, because you write alone, and then you give your thing. So, image book, well, Jean-Luc wanted to, at the end, to get out of the cinema classic, the form, and he go more and more in small. His edit room was more and more small. 15 years ago, we changed his home. He changed his home, so his edit room come close, small. And when he see his film in his living room, which was just or that kind of space or that kind, it's quite small. The film was big, and he said, "Why not sharing this like that?" So this was the idea. And how the same thing if you think about the first screening of Lumière films. It was not a big projector for big theater. It was a small thing, a small cafe, a small living room, a small place to screen. So this kind of intimity, yes, with the things. And the exhibition is the same thing, because you need to be maybe alone to see it, alone or maybe with someone, but to have your own experience, because all this is an explosion of the image, and it cannot be. It's big images, but it cannot be on a how do you say, a stadium, or I don't know. It needs to be alone. And what it's very nice here, it's because it was with some all this how do you say, furniture, antiques furniture. Or there is a table, like a dining table in your home. There is a living room there. So it's like if we are in an apartment where this image, the screen, is like the expression of our thinking. You can be alone in your living room and then you have a thinking about something. You read something and you have a thinking about something and your think go outside your mind. And here they are like reflection of this kind of thinking or mind. So I think it's very nice. And it's nice to see people in between also. So you are inside, but you see someone else that are inside. So I think it was quite interesting. Yeah. Yes, and the photo is also this kind of intimity too, because the photo is intimacy in the time, not in the space, but in the time, because it's just a moment, and you cap this moment. And it's quite, yes, well, I already said, but because there you have the beginning of his life in cinema, but it's the same man that is going away there on the vertical photo in winter last year. This kind of too. There is the black and white there. There are also my own intimity because I make this photo in 35 millimeter camera, so analog, no digital, opposition of the digital, and I also print. So it was my hand making the photo, and also to make the printing in a chemical antique system, by hand, in the dark room. I do myself. Look, for me, I wanted to do for here, but to do this work until the end is like sharing my sensitivity to Jean-Luc, also with my hand. Because with Jean-Luc, we talk sometimes a lot or not, but it was more a connection without words. It's like from heart to heart, or me as I was building the camera that you can see there, the 3D camera, the stuff. My expression was made with my hands, in fact, to carry the camera, to carry the microphone, to carry the film, to carry him. I carry him because at the end I carry him too, like helping him to walk, to go with the dogs. It was important for me that I help him to go with the dogs on the lake or that promenade. So it's the same movement. So I made by hand the photo. For me, it's a gesture of sentimental in the dark room. Well, sorry.
And so it's such a small group of collaborators too on these final projects that there is an almost kind of family-like intimacy of you guys working together. And I thought maybe we can go back to how you first met Godard, and because you mentioned the other night that for a lot of people it's Godard, but for you is Jean-Luc. And how did Godard become Jean-Luc for you?
Yeah. Yes, just one thing for the photo. There is a photo with the table, a wood table. It's our place of work. And it's also, this table is the place of his last film. It's the set of his last film too. So it's very smallest to small. It's not anymore outside, it's just a table. So there is 3 chairs. And there is one chair is his chair, and the 2 other is one mine and one for Jean-Paul Battagia. Jean-Paul, so we were at the 3. No, when it was 20 years ago, I made a film school. I made full of other stuff before, but one thing was important, maybe in connection with the work with Jean-Luc, is that I was working in puppet theater for 5-8 years, to make the light or to work with the company, and we make a lot of shows in Europe. And puppets people are incredible because it's like a freedom of any rules. There is no rules in puppets. As in theater, there can be some rules. In dance, maybe there is some rules. In puppets, no, you cannot. You can make a character small like that, or big like that, or has no rules. And then I come into a film school, and then in the film school, people say, oh, cinema, there is rules. There is a story. You have to tell the story. There is a telling story. You have a character, and then this character have a problem, and then you have to resolve his problem. At the end of the film, you have the resolution of the problem, and that's the film. I say, but no, for me, cinema is not that. Cinema is expression without words. It's like in Antonioni's film or Kiarostami's films, or also Asiatic films, because I don't understand Japanese or Chinese, so I jump in the film without the text, and I see more things like that. And then I was working on a film as a technician, and the producer was very happy with my work, and she asked she was producing the Godard film. She is Ruth Walburger.
This is Notre Musique, or?
It was for the beginning of Notre Musique, yeah. And she asked me if I would like to work with Jean-Luc Godard, and I said yes, why not? But at the film school, the professor explained me Jean-Luc Godard, and said me Jean-Luc Godard is a very, very complicated filmmaker. You have to know everything. You have to know. See, for example, this film. It was Je vous salue Marie. In Je vous salue Marie, there is this behind. There is this author. There is this philosopher. There is this that. There is, and I was not coming from university. I was coming from puppets theater. I was not or engineer school, or I don't know, but I was not coming from. I was a little okay. Godard is not for me because it's so complicated. It's you just need to have all this knowledge before thinking of watching a Godard film. Okay, I know that he's living next city to me, find 20 minutes of my home. I know, but and the professor don't give me any key, or no, he give me doors. You need all these doors, all this lock. You have to learn the door. You have to learn the lock to understand. You cannot understand like that because you need this, because it's all full of. I say, okay, it's cold. It's not for me. Sorry. And then when the producer asked me, "Do you want to work with Godard?" I said, "Well, why not? It's not a problem for me. I'm curious. Why not?" And I say yes. And then my friend said to me, "Oh, you will work with Godard. Oh, be careful because his character is terrible. He got a character with. He can be very angry. He will ask you a lot of things. Did you understand his last film?" I said, "No, maybe I should." Then I went to a DVD shop. It was before the DVD, VHS, and at the bibliothèque and the library. I take the VHS of the last film before. It was In Praise of Love. And I tried to understand it. So I was watching, but the day before, not the day before. I know. I will show you. I will make you because one day, it was the 13th September 2002. I received a message on my mobile phone. Not on my mobile phone. On my answer machine. It was in 2002. There was no mobile phone. On my answer machine, but I still have this message.
Oh, wow.
I can show you. I can make you hear his first message.
Bonjour, Jean-Luc Godard à l'appareil. C'est Ruth Walburger qui m'a donné votre numéro. Voilà, nous cherchons un régisseur pour un film que je dois tourner au début de l'année en Suisse romande. Et je souhaiterais vous voir si cela vous intéressait. Vous pouvez me joindre surtout par fax à notre atelier de rôle en me laissant un message et à quelle heure et quel jour je peux vous retéléphoner. Alors c'est le 021 825 48 24. Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée.
No, it was the message of my daughter was in 2013, 10 years after. But it's a nice machine because I have my daughter when she was 5 years and the Godard voice, so it's my heart in this answer machine. Well, then I had this message, okay, and then my friends say, "Oh, Godard," blah, blah. So I brought the In Praise of Love VHS and I tried to understand the film. I could not understand it because I need to understand. He will ask me a lot of questions and I understand nothing because I was trying to understand. And I was completely wrong, but I don't know how to do. So I went to Godard home. We had a rendezvous on a Sunday morning, and I was thinking he will ask me a lot of questions. He will kill me. He will I will lose the exam, and I will, okay, then I will do other things in my life. It's not a problem. And so I went to his home, and then the entrance was in the deepness of his studio was big at that time. And when finally I arrived to his desk, I just see a small man, just a little old maybe, and saying bonjour. And so I say bonjour. No, please sit. Yes, okay. And I sit. And he asked me just simply the things. No asking about anything. And then I begin to work. And with him, I was in the same freedom of thinking as I was with the puppets people. You know, like easily working with where I could share all what I was propose. I can propose him, but we were like two same shy men, a little maladroit. I don't know maladroit. Comment on dit maladroit?
Awkward.
Huh? Clumsy, yes. I'm clumsy as he is. So we are two. He's not clumsy in cinema, but maybe sometimes to talk like that. When he have a microphone and to talk with the TV, he was a god. But when to talk like that, so we were like that. And I made a film before, my diploma film at the film school. Where in the film school they say it's not a good film, but finally this film was selected at Cannes Film Festival. But for example, I don't present the film to him. I don't say him that I was making a film or I had made a film, or I didn't want to give him, see, I'm all this. So I wait 15 years before showing giving him my film, because I didn't want to present like that. And it's nice because when he see my film, he was very emotionate. Il était très touché. And he just called me just after he see, because I just leave him a DVD. At that time there was DVD. No, a Blu-ray. Then you see the time goes. I present my film. 15 years after. And he just asked me he just sent me a very nice critique that I was doing the impossible of cinema. As everywhere there is only the possible of cinema, but I did the impossible of cinema. And he asked me the authorization to present the film to his wife. I said, oh yes, please, Jean-Luc, please. So we were very like that. And it was nice because in French, we say vous. In English there is only one you, but in French there is vous ou tu. And with Jean-Luc I say vous, because it's a normal at the beginning, but we still say vous until the end. And it's a vous with a lot of love inside. It's like a vous in Flaubert roman, or I don't know. Yes.
So I understand on the first film that you guys worked on together, Our Music, Notre Musique, it was mainly for the last section of the film, the Paradise section. How did you guys go from that to working together on Film Socialism, which was where you have a very important role putting that whole film together?
But, yes, Notre Musique, it was for the small part, but it was also for
and you have a cameo in the film, a small appearance. You make a small appearance in the film?
Yeah, maybe because I put the sequence here, sometimes you can see it. It's like a forest image, very green. And at that moment, at the end of this sequence, there is soldier.
American soldiers.
Yes, American soldier, because it's a paradise. And I was also making a little paradise here because he makes the same travel on 13 September, I think. That's the character here. That the character, the woman that you will see crossing inside this forest, she is entering paradise after a self-death.
That's right.
And though Jean-Luc makes the same travel now, you can say. So it's the idea of they put these sequences. And in the end, you have American Soldier, because there is a song that's of the Marines
The
saying,
Marines hymn, the
yes, they're saying that the door of the paradise will be guarded by the Marines. So you have Marines. And there was a you say, il manquait, there was left one guy, one shoulder, so
it's a cigarette lighter. Or?
yes, they asked me to do. And I find all the other characters, the costume, the props, the
Young
location.
people playing volleyball.
Yes, it was friends. I made all the casting of all this crew. Well, yes. No, it was... no, because when he began to make the next film, I just received a second phone call. But it was not a message, it was just a call that I answered like that. Look, I don't have the message. And he asked me to continue to work with him on Film Socialiste because he was looking to find some location in Switzerland. I said, yes, why not? And then the film grew a little, and he saw that I was no problem with techniques. I'm not a technician at all. There is technician with diplomas, with everything. And as I'm not a technician, I'm free to do everything with techniques. You know, so when you have a diploma, you learn how to do it, and you don't know how to not do it. So I know how to don't do it. Look, I know how to don't do it a good 3D. I know to not do well image. I know to don't do well sound. So I'm free to do everything. It's good for me. It's same thing to write. If you never write something, you can write everything because you're free. Nothing. Well, though I'm not a technician, but I'm not a problem with techniques. Or the techniques make me no problem, and it's a relationship too between techniques and me. And he asked me if I could make some tests with a camera, because in 2008. It was the beginning of Film Socialism. He was thinking, should I do the film in 35 millimeter, as was made Notre Musique, with his crew, classical crew, with Julien Hirsch at the camera, with François Musy at the sound, with the assistant, with the boom. It's a small crew, but 6, 7 people. Or making in digital, because it was the beginning of digital publicity everywhere. You know, the TV, HD ready, marketing of all the stuff. So he brought a small camera. He asked me to see this camera. And when I test this camera was nothing interesting. It was as a professional, as a cinematographer professional in the rules, nothing to do with this camera. But as I'm not a cinematographer, I push all the buttons in where you don't have to push. And then it became to be interesting. It was not anymore high definition. It was like color, it was like frame rate slow, so it was like smoothing like that. And I go to the train station, I make filming of people going out of a train. It was not because I wanted to make the Lumière. No. It was just naive. I want to film movement of people. In fact, I made the same thing that Lumière, moving people. When you want to try movement, you go where there is people moving. Where? In a train station. Lumière makes the same thing. So it's not... Well, I find... I work on the same... sur les mêmes traces. The same, huh? Steps, yes. I made the same steps as Lumière, in fact, without knowing it. It's good to don't know. It's good to be ignorant, in fact. It's like to be... In fact, when you have to understand, when you want to understand a Godard film, go back to your childhood, because there we were all very rich of freedom and of everything. Look, it's very good to don't know, because you can see an image for what it is. So, same thing. And then I present my tests that I did to Jean-Luc, and I see this camera have no quality, or his only quality is his defect. And then you see, I had sometimes like that, his light coming in his eyes. He was like, and this is a paradise. Now you will see, the woman, she enters the paradise. And this, for this sequence, I begin to work with Jean-Luc. And then after you can see maybe the soldier. And then he asked me to do the image, to work on the image. But it was simple like that. And I say, yes, okay. Yeah.
And for us, when we watch film socialism, it's quite difficult to piece the story together because, for instance, on the cruise, there's a lot going on. It's almost like an ensemble film involving the missing gold and so on. Did he share with you a complete story in the beginning or a script, or what did he present to you before you went on the shoot?
See, you have the rules. You have also the rules capturing you, contaminating you, because you see the story.
Right.
It tells you the story. A film is not a story. It's sad to close film and cinema, not film, cinema to only a story. Cinema is emotion, is expression. It's like making, okay, painting is only portrait. No. Rothko, all the abstract painting is not figurative. The story is not a film. Maybe some film is story, but cinema is not only story. It's not, it don't tell us a story, never. But there was a script, yes, or not a script. It was more on a big magnetic.
Like a whiteboard?
Yes, whiteboard magnetic with all little quotes of text and images. And the film was in two parts, one on the boat and one in the garage. And he didn't knew at that moment if it's begin the film with the boat or with the garage. And in fact, we begin to film in the garage, and then we jump to the boat. But for the relationship, for example, between he and me, and for the idea of freedom, there is an anecdote that I sometimes already said this, but I can read it. When we went to, you can see there is two images of film socialism. One is with Patti Smith, with the chuck, the clap with Godard, and top you see Godard on a desk, we say no desk, of a boat, sur le pont d'un navire. The deck of a ship. It was a filming on film socialism. We make this film on a cruise boat called Costa Concordia. Maybe you remember.
Crashed.
It was the one who collapsed, I think, near Tuscany. But it was in 2013, but we filmed on this boat in 2008. And we choose, it's really the random, because we choose this boat only because we were looking for a boat making the same cruise, one in winter and one in spring. Because in winter we wanted to film everything without the actor, to film all the stuff inside, to make a location, to prepare the filming with the actor, and then making the same cruise with the actor. And 2 days before going on the first crew, with the material, with everything, Jean-Luc said to us, I have to work on the script. Yeah, he worked on the script. Yes, Jean-Luc, I'm tired, I need to work on the script, yes, okay. You can go. But I said, yes, but we have to film everything of the film, but without the actor, but there was a lot of things to film, to be done at that time. And then he said, I won't say you what I need to do, what I need as images. Because if I say you, maybe use this, or maybe film this, or make film images like that, you will try to do as I will do, and you will do shit. Vous allez faire de la merde. Bon. Je veux dire en français, mais si je vous dis ce que j'ai besoin, ben vous allez essayer de faire en pensant que vous êtes moi, et ce que vous allez faire, c'est de la merde. In French. And do what you want. Maybe you do nothing, it's not a problem. Maybe you can do, but do as you want. And it was, in fact, people say me, oh, he give you a lot of freedom. In fact, not. It don't give me freedom. It don't take my freedom away. And that's a way of making things, don't taking the freedom of the things. It's in all this work. Same thing for the beginning films, with filming Anna Karina or Gene Seberg or the two young there in the bed. No, they are just two young people in the bed. We let them do. just letting him. He's young. It's okay. We don't have to modify things. It's very simple to be Godard. For this, it's like really reconnecting with this his or our childhood. Because when you are a child, we don't. You see, you do the things like that. You don't. No one say you no. You don't have to do. You have to learn like that. You have to count like that. Language is na nya nya nya. No, you do like that. And Jean-Luc is a child for that. So to understand a Godard film, you need just to refine your child inside you. And if it's too late, well, it's never too late, because when you grow up, when you get older, I think the child will come at the head of your life, as he said once. So, I went on this Costa Concordia, and I don't know if you already did a kind of cruise like that. It's imagine if you are in a shopping mall for 12 days, 24 hours non-stop, with all the publicity, with all the but what a gift to be there with a camera like that or like that, and you can film. So I was outside of this reality because I was behind the camera, like Raoul Couta there, and I can just where I was just how do you say a set, an incredible set with all the humanity, with all and the power of the commercial and the loneliness of the poor people. Okay, they go to the salsa dance, or they go to the swimming pool gymnastic, and they go to eat, and to be fat and poor humanity and yeah, it was really wonderful to make cinema. And sometimes I was too much. I get outside and just to make some images of the sea. Without the colors, artificial colors. There was all inside was with LED lights, these new lights where you can go to the yellow, to green, blue, red, yellow, green, blue, red, yellow everywhere. And there was some fountain of chocolate. And you have the smell of chocolate, yellow, blue, red. And then someone playing with the Yamaha. No, it's a good Yamaha music, but when you play Bésame mucho, this called get out and just filming the sea and the sound too. I make some tests to record the sound and the saturation of sound of the wind on the microphones. So for this, and then we give all this material to Jean-Luc, and then he makes the film and then we make the second cruise with Patti Smith and the other actor, and then we make the film. But it was incredible. On the boat, no one sees that we were making a film. No one. Because everyone was filming himself, themselves, photographer with all, make a photo. We were just filming inside, and no one make a... You just see Jean-Luc as an old, here you see a clochard. What's the friend? Huh? A tramp. Yeah, people say, what is this tramp there, here? And Patti Smith too. No one recognized Patti Smith. If you see the film Socialism, I don't know if it's already screened or it will be next few days, because you will see inside the film Patti Smith in the middle of all the people, just with her guitar, making like in the middle of people, and people thinking, what is this?
There's also a lecture, too, right, by Badiou. So Alain Badiou also.
Yeah, Alain Badiou.
Just a lecture. Nobody went to the lecture.
No. It was really surrealistic, complete. You have Alain Badiou, Patti Smith, Godard on Costa Concordia. It was the middle of Bésame mucho. So.
Was he directing mostly the scenes involving the actors on the second cruise, or?
Yes. He let, if things appear, he let them made. But he direct. Before that the thing appear, he direct a lot. Yeah.
And did he know beforehand that there was going to be that kind of third part of the film, condensing sort of like these hallmarks of, I guess, history or the Mediterranean, or?
But, well, because we make the cruise at the first with all this filming. For the second filming, he sees already what was on board. But I think he was expecting what we found there in the discotheque and this inferno. Yeah, no, it was the idea. It's like the boat is like a small civilization of today of Europe. Our civilization is somehow like that. But me filming, I was trying to film the grace. Grace, we say? La grâce. You see the grace? Oui? Yeah. Even if behind the chocolate fountain and all this. And then the things go, you know, and there is something very nice that he said in another documentary film. It was in the 60s or the 70s. He said he's not making film, he's making cinema. And it's true because, okay, I work 20 years with him, and film go to the next film, then to a next film, then to a next film. So there was no stop between. It was we meet together every weeks or sometimes every day, sometimes every week, sometimes 2 weeks for 2 weeks when the beginning of a film process. But even if he write to you an email, it's not just an email like that. It's already a connection, a construction with image and sound. Look, it's cinema. It's always cinema. It's incredible with him because his mind, his thinking is like a forest. It's une arborescence de pensée, a tree thinking. He's making connection always, non-stop. So making a film for him was like just cleaning his mind. One thing, and then one other thing, and then another thing. Like, you need to be clean. And yes, you have to, one thing after the other. So it counts your thinking too. So it was a way, making a film is a way of free his mind. From the beginning, for this he made 4 films per year because he found a way of free his mind a little. And this was until the 12th September last year. Because it was also very, yes, the same gesture until the end, where he asked me to go to him because I knew his death desire 2 weeks before. He decided 2 weeks before, and I was sure that it will take months that when this could be done. In fact, not. 5 days before, he asked me to go to his. But he was not anymore in his home. It was not where there is the table there. It was in the house of Anne-Marie Miéville, his wife, because they had 2 apartments. One for working and then one for Anne-Marie. And he was there, and he asked me to meet him. We had the last meeting on Monday, and he asked me to go to see him on the Friday before. And I said, why? Okay, I come. And I was, you know that he wants to die, and the date is next Tuesday, next Tuesday. And he asked you to go to his home on Friday before. So I went, and then he was gentle as the first day after this message. Bonjour, je vous en prie. Bon, okay, I sit on his bed, small bed. It was like a child bed, and because it was a small bed. It's really childhood. It's always this connection. So I just sit next to him like that, and he got on his neck. No, we say lap, and his lap a book, not a book, a notebook, but a school notebook. And he got a script, kind of script, of a film to do. And he don't let me speak with him about, do you really want to to die. Enfin, no, okay. Alors, then we have to do the things that the film that you have to do. The first image is like that, and then maybe for the second we can maybe looking for in the DVD I have here, and then we spent 3 hours of looking the image that he wanted to do in his last film, and there was sometimes also a very moment. I get a lot of some exceptional moment without words. For example, at the moment I was looking on internet, I had my laptop too, so I connect my laptop to my mobile phone, and I was looking for a Pasolini film, or another image, I don't remember, and it was hard to find it on the internet. And he was just here, and he just let him, just to see what is on my screen. But he let his weight. It was quite light at the end, but here. So I feel his warm, long. And we were looking like that. It's true, he was quite naked and looking this picture for making a film. It was full life, because making a film is living. It's not only living projection, it's living thinking. Living projection try to make a living thinking in your mind too, but it's kind of, and it was, yes, it was 2 hours to, yeah, like that. Very simple, like that. But his hit, I still remember this hit. This is Jean-Luc. This is completely Jean-Luc. And when I meet him for the first day, I forget Godard, I just meet Jean-Luc. So there was Jean-Luc at the end. And then, okay, I make, because I don't know the time, but, and then during the night, I make the edit, because I wanted to, because we had a last meeting on Monday, I wanted to present him the film. The edit is incredible, you will see next year, because we have time to do it. It's really incredible, because every image is like, there is some images where we see a puppet. It's strange, because it's still puppets. Image of puppets of the men that go back, go behind the puppets and let the puppet. How do you say? Pose the mask. Yes, or the mask. The mask. Yes. Removes the mask. Yes, removing the mask or removes the puppet. So there was just this Jean-Luc behind, the poor guy. And in the film, there's some image like that. Is this the from no, there is for the end of in color the Ivan le Terrible, the Eisenstein, where there is this dance with the mask. But he said me, choose the moment where the mask get out, when he is behind the mask. And another image that we use in the image book, where there is the guy behind the puppet. When you see the guy behind the puppet. And it was really for me like when you see the guy behind the cinema, his character made is Godard. Everything like is maybe Godard, and there is more Jean-Luc. But there is some Jean-Luc too. But Anna Karina, all the character is cinema, is Godard. But well, I edit this during the night. It was, I take 3 hours to edit this very simple thing. I was, like that. And I bring on Monday the edit, and then I say, Jean-Luc, do you want to see it? Well, it was good because we had something to say, And she, no, it's okay. I make you trust, more than trust, And he got another script. I say, okay. And that on Monday there was Jean-Paul too, though we were 3. And then he got a nice shirt that on Monday. On Friday it was like just with, but on Monday he got the shirt and he showed to us, and it was nice because he was in the living room, not on the bed, and on the living room there was one sofa, not sofa, a fauteuil, so, armchair, and as it was nice because he was like sit here and he was asking, we wanted to be on foot, so we were like that. Wow. To show him, and it was nice because, but it's not just normal. You want, oui, Jean-Luc, oui, no, it's normal. You make like that, but you were on our neck, And he was like, and me here and Jean-Paul here. And it was, like the two child, I don't know, fine, it was, you cannot say child, stupid, because we are not, but it was like our tree, the tree chair that there is in the photo there. It's our tree. Tree. It's nice English for that. Yeah, it's like a tree of thinking, a tree. And he presents us the second film, because his last film is in two parts, so it's the second part of his last film called Scenario, meaning script. And it's more extract of films. His films, other films, and it's very, all the journey that he will did the next day, in fact, the death. But meaning, at the end, the last image, he say, okay, and now we will film this now. Yes, now? How? Yes, I will be on my bed and you take me with do you have a camera? Yes, I have in my car a camera. Okay, then we will make... okay, then I jump outside, I take the camera in my car, and I had a microphone too. And I didn't know, I take it maybe to redo something, I don't know. But I had material in my car, it's like random, but I don't know why. And then I prepare the camera as we did. We prepare the shot, the image, he was preparing his text. I prepare the light a little, and then the microphone, and then I roll on the record sound and the camera. And Jean-Paul makes the check, première. And we make 2 takes, where he opened his shirt, with you see his belly like that, and he tried to say a text of Jean-Paul Sartre that he tried to write the same thing, and then it was made, and that's it. And then I cut the camera, and then we continue a little to discuss if he really want to. Maybe he could postpone the rendezvous that he had with the death the next day, as he could. He did a lot of postpones the meeting that you have with an actor or with a producer or with Agnès Varda in the film with GR. You know, he's not there. He make a lot of things. Do things like that tomorrow, please. We can continue 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. I don't know. Right. And he said, no, it will be the same thing. 2 years, 2 weeks, 2 days more. It's the same thing. I don't. Now it's finished. It's really the mask of cinema, the mask of everything. He was free of that now. Okay, then we just take us in the arm, cry, and then we go. And then the 13th September become, and it was incredible because 2 days after, I just so I made the loop, the end of the loop. I just had the phone, the producer who proposed me to work with Godard, Ruth Waldburger. And I made what I did to you to present, to show the message that he led to my mobile, or to my answer machine. And I don't know if and I just see at that time that the date, you can still see here, because then it's true. The date, because there was a date right on my answer machine, was the 13th September 2002. He passed away the 13th September 22. So 20 years. And I just see this 2 days after. And I was, okay. So intimity, I don't know how to say more. It was, yeah. But I need 20 years to talk about Jean-Luc. And what is sad now, that sometimes, but it's normal. But everywhere, it's Godard forever, Godard. And I'm a little sad because my Jean-Luc disappeared a little and the Godard take his place. And for this, it's a little sad. For this, the photo is important for me. It's Jean-Luc in there. Yeah, the vertical one with this little man. Well,
how is his family or small circle of collaborators sort of coping with the departure of Godard, or like, you know, whether it's Marie or maybe you and Jean-Paul Battagia and Nicole Bernays, or this kind of like small Godardian family? Or...
Yeah, but at the end it was just Jean-Paul and me, or me and Jean-Paul, then when he come back. But it's true that with Jean-Paul, it's nice because I'm not a talking, well, I'm talking here, but I'm not a talking man. And I'm more with the hand, making, in the making, trying, making. And Jean-Paul is very nice because he is in the talk. He, when to bring the actor to Jean-Luc, the problem is Jean-Luc is not saying to the actor, welcome, now we will go to drink, and tonight we have a dinner together. No, nothing at all. He disappears, he let the actor alone. So, and the actor says, maybe what I do here, I'm in Rolle or in Lyon, in this small Swiss city, to do nothing and to wait for 2 weeks. It's like Alain Delon or Gérard Depardieu had to wait 2 weeks in an hotel in Lyon. Because Jean-Paul is very nice because he is very friendly, he's very cool. He brings them, so he makes them laugh and feeling them happy and quiet and preparing them to the work or to Jean-Paul is very, very important in our little crew at Three because he's coming from Paris, the connection with the producers, and me, I'm a little in the shadow making the work. But cinema is this, it's to be in the shadow. And it's very nice because when you are in the shadow, you see the light. When you are in the light, you don't see it. But here it's interesting because you are in the light and also in the shadow, and you can see. Though I'm from the shadow, yeah.
And was Jean-Luc always talking with you about cinema, specific kind of shots and images, or did he also talk with you about other things, like just like everyday life things? Or?
Yeah, sometimes somehow, but it was more poetically. But for the discussion in the everydays, it was quite not easy for him and for me too, in fact. But sometimes, or to share the good things. It was, for example, there is 2 examples very, very, for me, very... I had once, I say him this, I had one dream one night, it was when he was sick. I made a dream, it's quite intimate dreams. I dreamed that he was a baby. It was Jean-Luc, but like a baby. And I was making him a massage cardiac, a heart massage. Do you see like that?
CPR.
See, a heart massage. You see a heart? A massage cardiac. Huh? Yeah, with my heart. I made a dream that I was making him a heart massage with my heart.
Oh, with your heart.
Yeah, like that. Quite. This is intimacy too. I don't know this kind of dream. I don't know. So I tell him this. I'm sorry, Jean-Luc. I made this kind of dream. So, yeah, okay. But then, this, yeah. And there was another dreams. He never cry on me. Cry or no, not cry.
Oh, just get
yeah.
At you.
Yeah. Yes. People say a lot, Godard is very choleric. With me, nothing, never. One night I made another dream where he was on me. So really, why did you do that? And I say, okay, I wake up like that. And on the morning I go to him and he say, this night it was strange because in the middle of the night I was feeling as I was dying. And then suddenly I resuscitate, I don't know. Yeah. And I say, Jean-Luc, it's because you come to me in dreams to and then it gives you the energy to go again in life. So please, Jean-Luc, go to my dreams when you want.
Just release all
yes, please. No, this kind of discussion we had. No, and then he talked a lot. He talked to me a lot about his memories. They get a lot of moments the last 2 years about memories of his childhood, or when he go to the house of the Mather family, his Mather family on the other side of the lake. Was they playing with his sister Rachel in the old cars that were there. Enfin, yes, he taught me a lot.
Did you write some of these memories down, or?
I have on my mobile because I record them. But yes, maybe sometimes I will. Yeah, there is another project called Parenthèse that an idea, his idea, and maybe I will do something with to make a film, maybe. Well,
perhaps we should allow
yes,
the
course,
audience
yes.
to ask some questions.
Yeah,
there.
we had only 1 hour to talk, and it's already 1 hour to talk. So, yes. Oh, yeah.
Describe the editing-proces a little bit. Describe how did he first start having a support?
Well, the edit is the main important thing in filmmaking. In fact, it's already edited. The film process begins by cleaning everything for the last film before. So everything was put in the back, all the books, all the DVDs, all the music, the CDs. He put it away. And I said, no, I take it. Maybe you will reuse them. I put it in some box. And I let it in my studio. And then the shelter, you get IKEA shelter Ivar. It's not a publicity for IKEA, but it's very important because it's a creative tool, very important for Godard, the Ivar. Maybe you know IKEA Ivar. It's a wood like that with simple shelf we say, that you can modulate as you want, and it's quite cheap, and you can build big, small, and he got this kind of shelf for until the 70s, until the beginning of the construction of that kind of model. So he cleans this, and he unmount all the shelf too, and then he he make it alone. He needs to make this alone. It's really like a painter. A painter cannot paint with 10 people. He needs to be alone. So he needs to be alone to rebuild his shelf. And to make the first chapter, and with the material, the second chapter with the material, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth, and the second part of the film, and that. And in fact, if you already see, it's already the film, because you have all the books, all the things on that. And then he make the script, which is most of the time he takes some images, not of the books, but of maybe a painting or a photo of the character, of the actor, or maybe just a piece of the text, and he make a collage on the table, the small table. And then we begin when we had to film to make the material, and then he put the material on the shelf, and on front of that shelf, on the other side, there is a video machine, tape deck on tape, donc analog tape, and he had it on tapes, and he begins the film. He begins the edit and the beginning of the film, and then the next. He cannot cut to put away an image and again glue it as in 35 millimeter. When you edit in 35, you can change and edit, but in video, not. If he wants to erase an image, he needs to put black and silence on it. And if he wants to change an image, he needs to put another image on it, and to eat a little in the before and to put a little after. For this, the edit of image book, Goodbye to Language, Film Socialism are quite because the only possibility is that he had to change something is to glue on, to take a little more in the before and a little more in the end, and same thing for the sound. So sometimes he makes some mistakes. So sometimes you have two sounds in the same time, but because he he make it like that with some mistakes. But when there is something interesting, he let it like that. For example, in image book, there is a lot of black. Because when you want to erase an image, but you put black, and in this black there is maybe 5 seconds of nothing. It's 5 seconds of nothing.
So he was editing on videotape to the very end.
Yes, but for the 15 last, Notre Musique was still editing in 35 millimeter, on the Steinbeck, you know, with Scotch tape, like that. He never edits on computer. I made all his work, what he did on tapes, I redo it on computer myself. But he never edit on computer. He never had a computer. He was very, very good with the iPhones. With you see the self-portrait. He made a lot of pictures, a lot of photos, and he know exactly how to paint a photo, to make some draw on the photo, and how to send with an email with the text. He was very helpful with this.
And I think he also used FaceTime quite a bit, or?
Yes, because sometimes we have some talk like that in FaceTime, and then when he proposed to make a press conference for Image Book, it was,
yes.
In Cannes Film Festival, we do it and with my mobile phone, as we talk sometimes together in FaceTime. So people in Cannes say, "Wow, it's wonderful." No, it's just like I put my phone, I call with Jean-Luc, and then it was like that. It was not so complicated. It's simple. Jean-Luc is simple. Jean-Luc and Godard is simple.
Are there other questions from the audience, or
critics? No.
So this kind of homemade quality, I think you mentioned for the Image Book when he was recording the narration. He
yes.
just used a little video camera and he just kind of pointed it to himself when he was recording it, or?
Yes, I proposed him to use a microphone, professional microphone, a Sharps with a preamp. And he said, no, it's too complicated, I don't know what. And he gets the use of a small
camcorder almost, right?
Yes, a camcorder, yes, a Sony, a small, very small, that we use for Film Socialism, but he know how to use it. It was very old, this camera also, because the button was... But, and it's important to know if you see Image Book, that the sound is recording him alone, in his home alone, and it's kind of very intimate too, because I have the image because it's a camera, but he take only the sound, but I have all the material. But and sometimes it's just after the shower. I don't know, you see, he's just and he makes this voice very during the night, during a rainy day. During the night, he makes the voice alone. He's in his table. It's. I
think you mentioned that you tried filtering out those other sounds, but it didn't work as well. You know, you wanted to keep in those kind of other sounds, like or him coughing at the end of the film.
Yes, because I made, as I told you before, I made with him. I'm not. It's hard, and I say it to everyone, it's hard to stay free about the rules, because the rules always try to get you inside always. Even me, I was, the rules of restoration, of high definition, of death noise filter. I don't know if someone work in cinema, the death noise filter on each Instagram, Instagram filters making your clean your skin, or all this. It's full of this stupid filter. There is now in all the edit system for cinema, and it's like you have the beauty button. You film someone and you have the beauty button, and then with IA,
AI,
AI, yes. The computer now, but it's DaVinci Resolve. It's a software for edit and color correction and everything. They are very proud now that to say yes, now it's automatically.
Everything is perfect
Yeah.
and clean and
And in the image book, I was contaminated by this rule because there is an image of a very old film, Russian film from Dovzhenko, The Earth. And Jean-Luc had a very old copy in VHS. So he used this in the edit. So it was with a lot of noise, with a lot of snow. The sound was and I said, I will use a new copy, Blu-ray print or what. And I find one on the internet and I pirate them. And then I put it on the edit. And I was quite proud to say, see the high quality. And when he sees this, he was angry. This is maybe the only times that he was angry. Don't on me, but he was like that. Why did you use this? You don't understand. I say yes, and that suddenly I say, yo, it's very hard. It's like for me a lesson because I was contaminated by the rule of the digital, of the numeric, to make clean, and then I re-put the original image, and then the image is. But will be the discussion on Sunday about the defects and the beauty and because it's incredible because the image with the snow, with the blur, with the noise, you see more things. There is less pixel, there is less definition, but you see more, you feel more. And cinema is this. Same thing if you know the restoration in 35 millimeter, it's always a little movement in the projection system inside the camera. So the image is a little like that floating. So the image is like something that you need to go to the image. With the digital, you are with a 4K screen, with I don't know, 20.1 contrast level, and you, this suffocating, and now and everywhere you have. In the taxis, I have 10 mobile phones in front. No, but really, we have to put away this. This is the enemy. I will say that. Like, this is the enemy. No, really, the digital, and we have to see the Three Disasters, the short film that he made in 3D, because there he says, numérique sera une dictature. Le numérique sera une dictature. Digital will be a dictator, and we are completely in that. Completely with the IA photo that it's wrong with also that we can use ChatGPT to play a little, but we have to yes no but it's really the because all the truth will be cancelled by the digital.
And I read that he even compared Godard compared the restoration of these classic films to doing Botox.
Yes.
That it's like putting Botox you should just age like gracefully.
Yes, no, but it's killing cinema making this. It's really, as I told you, if you glue all the films in a digital way, it's killing what it is. It's already, yeah. But it's hard because we don't have any more projector for screening in 35 millimeter because the machine is not anymore made, and the projectionists now don't exist anymore. They just push a button and that's it. And so it's sad because this kind of cinema, slowly disappear and collapse in the blue of the digital. It's like the same on the Costa Concordia, the blue LED, red light. It's hard to just forget this and to see the sea. But still the sea there is, still the trees there is, still a lot of things, and still child there is, and still our childhood there is inside our heart. So.
And I think maybe one of the great things about these kind of imperfections, these deliberate imperfections in Godard's films is that you feel like always that the film is still alive, that somehow it's unfinished and it's sort of like still, in the process of making as you watch it. And whereas with something that's very perfect, it seems to be dead already,
Yes, beauty is imperfection. The beauty on the face is the imperfection. The beauty of the character is a different. A character is need that it's not equal to another one. The beauty is not perfection. There is no perfection. The perfection is a death. this is okay. This is now it's perfect. It's dead. Okay, there is no more style. It's still no more movement, no more random, no more nothing. No. The beauty is the opposite of perfection. Perfection is we have to be afraid of that.
And it seems like Godard's always interested often in showing us the process of creating art. Like sometimes you see in his films like musicians rehearsing music rather than the final performance or song, or you see them staging a painting and so on. And it seems like that kind of creative process is so much more alive than to say already it's framed and put in a museum or something.
Yes, I don't know. I cannot answer for him now, but I never, and before now. But for me, myself, when I make a try, it's 1,000 more interesting than when it's the final step. Yes, because when you are trying it, you are in the first gesture of the things. You are free in the first try, and the 3D, it's a try. We don't know. And making a film is a try. People say, yeah, but Godard film is only experimental film. But every film is an experiment, normally. There is one film, then you can redo the film, you call it a remake, or maybe a second remake, but every film is single. It's like a paint. You cannot say, I make 10 times Capella 16. No, it's only unique. So a film is a test. Every film is a test. It's an experiment. You don't know when you... And we have to say to the producer, and we have to say, and to hurl, to say very loud to the people in the commission who give the money to the film, then you don't know how will be the film before. It's not on the script that you have the film. The film is made on the edit room. It's made from the filming and on the edit room. At the end of the process, maybe you can make the script, but not at the beginning. At the beginning, it's just projection. Okay, we imagine that there will be this scene, that scene, that scene. You have to prepare your plan of work. Yeah, but the film, you don't know exactly how it will be. And you have to be free when you edit to think about and to see exactly what you have. Jean-Luc had this kind of incredible possibilities that he still see things in his edit room. Even if he worked 4 years on a film, if he sees sometimes something like that, he suddenly say, okay, I will change it, because he got always his new eyes open. He always he's free of this, how do you say, his watch is always free.
And you mentioned that sort of glow in his eye when he's surprised by something that you show him that he didn't expect. Like, I think you mentioned maybe you shot some test footage with your kids.
Yes, in Goodbye to English.
And then he was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. Yes, for me, test is wonderful. So I said, Jean-Luc is some test, and I made test, yes, with GoPro camera. And I was in south of France in the family of my wife, and I filmed my children running inside the olive tree, and it was springtime, which was very wonderful. It was my children, so I filmed my children, and when I gave it to Jean-Luc, yes, he said, yes, it's amazing. We will use this image instead of all I was organizing to do with a professor asking to children stuff. Yeah. Or in Film Socialism, there is my computer, the voice of Jean-Luc. No, you just because there is a little loudspeaker speaking, but this is a short film about the rule and the exception. It's about Sarajevo, and I think there is some connection between Sarajevo and Hong Kong, which needs to stay an exception and not be by the rules. Well, what I was talking? Yes, in Film Socialism there was a moment where my computer made a big bug, and suddenly on an image, all the sky in the image become red, like big pixel red. I said, oh, I'm sorry, Jean-Luc, I this computer. No, give it, let it. It's a gift. He put the blood in the sky, let it. Okay. And then I keep the bug, and in the film you have the red sky on American ship during the Second World War. And for this kind of freedom, he see everything suddenly.
Okay, I think I see the signal that we're running out of time, so we should probably wrap this up. But maybe we can end by talking a little bit about the project that you had been planning with Jean-Luc, because when you showed me the other day the photos over there, you said actually he was planning to return to celluloid or shooting on film.
Yes, yeah.
And so maybe we can talk a little bit about that to end our
Yes,
discussion.
yes, it's why these pictures are in 35 millimeters celluloid, because the last film that finally, because of the COVID crisis, it takes time and it slow everything, and it was not possible again for him to make a real film with, to make a film with shooting with actors. But there was the project to shoot with the actors and to make the film in 35 millimeter black and white, and 16 and Super 8 in color. It's interesting because Super 8 in color, you will think, yeah, we make the 35 in color and the Super 8 in black and white. No. 35 in the big format, black and white, and the color and the 16 in Super 8. So I brought a 35 millimeter camera, the lens, everything, and some print, some material, a Super 16 and a Super 8 too, camera. And but it's very expensive. Again, the money is a problem. It's very expensive, the 35 millimeter. For 120 meters, it's 3 minutes of film. It costs €1,000 to have the print. Though to don't, because we don't have a lot of money, I use the print in the photo camera, because 35, it's incredible. It was made by Edison in the beginning of history cinema, and it's still the same format, the same hole that you can put it in your Nikon or Leica machine. So, though I make this to make the test of this Kodak 5222. It's a 250 ASA. I don't remember how many ASA. 200 ASA. And though I was with me with this camera, and I always, even if Jean-Luc already said, no, it's finished, it's over, I don't want to make the film in 35, we'll just make some little things, so I don't know. I was pushing him to show him some tests of print. For this, I made this photo. I had with this camera with me, and instead of photographing me myself to make tests, I was preferring making photo of other things, dogs or him maybe. But it become more personal sharing moments that I try with this photo. And the film exists, but it's just this short film of 20 minutes that was in Cannes this year.
The Phony Wars.
Yeah, funny, yeah, it's a film annonce.
So I guess thank you very much, Fabrice,
You're
for
welcome.
sharing all these intimate memories of Jean-Luc with us.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.